What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. My name is Isaiah, and I'll be your public appointed defendant for the evening. And today I believe we have our very final moment in the courtroom, unless this goes incredibly wrong. It looks like this is gonna be curtains for this series. So just before we get started, I just want to say thanks to everyone who has come out and watched anything and enjoyed something. I've had a lot of fun, and I hope you all have too. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I brought my water back for this one, because we're going all out with these voices. I about just coughed that up all over my keyboard. And, let me get some canned air in here. Clean this keyboard off a little bit. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand? I'm going to miss these characters. I'm going to miss doing these voices. It's fun. Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you are aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. Remember, you are under oath. You want to hear the truth. Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. Let's do it. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony, Lana, so don't screw it up. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. Alright, let's hear it. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dart convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. No one believes you.
Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lana...
If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. What if she's telling the truth, though? That's true. She's not. I know my own sister. I thought I said that in my head. How did you hear that? Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. That sucks. Yeah, it's no time. It's no time to start second-guessing myself. All right, here we go. Let's get it. All right, y'all already know the first step here. Press on everything. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so it'd be 5 years.
Detective Gant and Detective Skye were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases.
She must have been good coming from the same school as Mia. Geez, where I go, community college? Damon Gant was a respectable detective, that's why. No truth to the blackmail theory. But think about it, Miss Skye. Just think about it. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. She's right, you know. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And, did you do so to help your sister? Joe Dark is a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. So I couldn't forgive him. Lana?
So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago.
You rearranged the crime scene. You say you did this all by yourself. Yes, would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. What? Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Doc? Something like that. If that is so, then what happened to the other murder weapon? Doc was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. Not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies and lies and lies. Oh, just protect me.
So, when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Forgot the tip of the knife, planted inside the wound, and then moved the body. Okay. You planted the tip of Dark's knife in the victim's body, and removed the body. But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. It isn't that bad, but I'm going to ask for the sake of the others. When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gant's desk. The body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple.
Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body.
Pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Pieces of the jar, you mean... Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. But then how would Marshall have written Emma on it?
I see.
What's the matter, Emma? Apparently, the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling that there's more to it than that. Well, yeah. Whoop. But she's determined to protect you to the end. Didn't press on the last thing. She insisted she fabricated it. There's no way she could have done it alone. Gotta get Lana to talk more. You know what? I can just present the jar, because it says Emma on it. Miss Guy, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. I get it. I get it. You mean the forger at the scene where Neil Marsh was murdered. If the truth were to be exposed now, the past few years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I'm compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction in my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right.
Do you have a problem with that?
Yeah, I have a problem with it. Simple oversight, though, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. This is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar.
Order! Order!
Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. I agree. Something critical. Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth.
Very well, the witness may now continue her testimony.
Alright, let's go. Jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
Why? You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood?
I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was a real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well. Defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Got it. So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier.
Certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case.
Hey. You an ace detective who never really missed a detail. Do you expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have. Dark in the room didn't have time to check it out. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust.
Well, that helps.
Lana, you do that for me?
Think you two might make up yet.
Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was.
If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry.
I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking.
Wiped away the blood. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened.
What do you mean?
If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in that situation? Lana, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces.
Fragments were large, I'm sure I got them all.
But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. You know, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never missed anything. I got every last piece. It was wiping them clean before they were discovered. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene. Yes, I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I treated you so badly all this time.
Okay, still plenty of time to make up. If I can get her out, keep her out of jail. Sheesh. No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office.
Yeah, you think? More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony.
Sister's really putting up a fight, huh? She really care about you. It's okay. I know what it is.
One possibility that might turn everything around.
Well, one of the pieces was found in Gant's office.
Final fragment found in Gant's safe. So we can present the jar again. Miss Guy believed this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of the jar in Chief Gant's safe. In the chief's safe? But how? I knew it. She didn't really know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it.
But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them.
Yeah, which leaves only one explanation. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you.
Ooh. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece?
I think not. I'm afraid it's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can. I can believe it. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken.
Oh, that.
There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness.
You're not implying this person was Chief Gant at the time he was looking for Doc downstairs.
I don't think so. The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? The judge does not want to see Gant guilty. He does not want to see that happen. Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? Oh, he's freaking out.
No! Wait. I'm not the one on trial here.
Damon Gaunt arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence.
But why would Chief Gaunt do that?
In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear?
What happened afterwards?
Discovering the scene, Lana Sky believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Giving his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Sky became the Chief's puppet. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the Chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. What? I'm trying to help you. Come on.
I was agreeing with the type who like to twist the truth.
Come on, Judge. Thought we're buddies, man. Come on. Wait a minute. Oh, did that make me think of something? What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap?
There's something wrong, Mr. Wright.
Lana may be right after all.
What do you mean, Wright?
So you do tell foul lies, Mr. Wright? Yes, I do. Miss Guy, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. So that I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Guy, if you will.
Ooh.
I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there's a possibility that it will if you tell the truth.
You have a duty, Lana.
Very well, I'll testify about what I really saw. Alright, let's hear it. For the final time. The final time. Here we go. Actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on the suit of armor sword. Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent.
Right.
Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor sword. You're the only one who saw that. If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? What'd you give to me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. I'm receiving a picture like that. It's in the book. It's in the book.
Please present this picture.
I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana. Gave it to you this morning, right? There's gotta be a picture in this book. Oh, hello. Hey, there's a picture here. Oh my. Look away, Emma. This is the actual crime scene. Emma, look away! No other detective saw the crime scene like this. Because I contacted the criminal affairs only after I had rearranged everything.
Mr.
Wright, that piece cut out from his vest. Could that be the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe? It's Scotty, but her handprint's on it. What's this? It's Emma's handprint. That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whoever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Oh, no.
Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Hold it already. Oh, great.
Come now, Udgy. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant. What, now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense.
I'm afraid it's too late for that.
What?
You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of your noose tightening around your own neck. Oh, Edgeworth. My guy. Oh, he doesn't like that.
Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements.
What do you mean?
The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't. But someone does. Someone. So, what's your excuse, Righto?
Excuse for what?
Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright?
Yeah. A little bit. If I show that piece of evidence now, Em is sure to be made out as the murderer.
Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. If you try to conceal anything, you'll be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries.
Should I present that piece of evidence? I feel like we have to. I don't want to be like Lana, and I feel bad for Emma. I do. Oh my gosh. I hope this is the right move. Yes, Your Honor, I do have further evidence. All right, the time's finally come to show it to them. Those prints have got to be the chief's.
Now then, let's see this conclusive evidence.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, Emma.
It's a piece of leather cloth.
Yes, most likely it was cut from the victims in their vest, near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it.
Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword. What? Whose fingerprints are on this? I'm sure Wright has checked, haven't you? Well, whose are they?
They're Miss Guys. Emma's guys. What? They're mine? So I really did do it.
See? I told you it was conclusive.
But this was found in your safe. It is possible you forged it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that?
But...
Give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over.
You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Skye to Neil Marshall's death. Wait. Did I ruin everything? Please, objection. Oh, so I totally screwed up. I screwed up bad, guys. I I flubbed that one. I didn't want to conceal it. I was scared. All right, so we're gonna brief intermission. Brief intermission. This is not how it ends. So, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay, we're gonna be right back. All right, hold your horses. Be right back. All right, guys, we're back. We're back, and we are not playing into Gant's game this time. This time, we're playing our game, even if it's the legally wrong game to play. We're playing it. So we are not showing this evidence. Here we go. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
What? You lie. Chief Gant, you opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence.
I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them?
Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it.
What are you talking about, Chief Gant?
Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest. Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut. It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason.
You mean you had this in your safe?
What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. It's going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Righto. Well, I can't let you just pin me up as a murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana.
So you really were manipulating her,
I knew Lana, so I made it look like the blame lay with her sister. That when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Skye. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had to plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dog convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you.
2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe?
But why? For insurance, of course.
Insurance?
I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame you for a murder that a girl committed. I mean, you were calculating that far ahead about forging the evidence. What do you take me for, a fool?
He is pretty smart, honestly, like, thinking that far ahead.
I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood from all the pieces.
But you fabricated all the evidence. Let's say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar, too.
Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? So I kept one more item for insurance.
You mean that piece of cloth?
Come on, Righto. Cough it up, alright? I know you have it.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So admit to it then, Chief Gant. That you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe?
Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all, but it's a lot better than being betrayed as a murderer.
I mean, this is right.
It's right what you have to say for yourself. A moment ago you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late.
It's been a long battle. The moment of truth has finally arrived. Well, do I just not show it again? Like, I don't want to mess up again and have to redo it. I don't want that to happen. Okay, so let's think about this logically. All right. Let's see. So, if we show the evidence, logically speaking, the same thing will probably happen. I mean, it's going to connect Emma to the murder, and we are going to I don't know what's changed. I don't know how anything's changed to the point where it makes sense. I don't know, we have the evidence. I feel like the game wants us to show it at some point or another, right? So I'm going to take a huge risk. And I'm going to be really annoyed if it doesn't work, so I'm going to have to like go back through the whole thing again. It's going to take another like 15 minutes. So, but, Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now.
Alright then, let's see the conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall.
Please, please, please work. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest.
Oh yes, at last you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth.
Your Honor, the prosecution requests this immediately be sent to the lab for analysis. It has handprint on the leather. It must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly.
You mean?
It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence.
You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Wright had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be?
You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that. Mr. Wright, do you really know?
I'm afraid I do. Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they?
Very well, I'll tell you. Should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. Well, it's Emma.
Emma Skye.
What? They're mine. Why? Why didn't you tell me?
I don't know why, Emma, but we're about to find out, I believe.
Oh. You're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death.
How could you? You monster.
Miss Skye.
You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't.
Miss Skye, it's not over yet.
What?
I said this trial isn't over yet. Ooh, Chad move from Phoenix there.
Huh, but I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer?
Before I do that, there's one little thing I have to clear up. Just one little thing. It's one thing.
Oh, and what's that?
Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall?
What?
Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask?
It was Emma Skye, wasn't it?
No. I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction.
What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about?
What is it, Phoenix? I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is.
Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth, what could it possibly contradict?
Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth.
Man,
Hmm. Okay. I really don't know what it is. I really don't know. But we're going to have to keep... Let's look at the autopsy report. Stab in the back, died from punctured heart and lung, and knife tip was in the wound. Right. Blood loss under 10 minutes, weapon found, and wound was missing tip. That's not it. Tagged SL9 incident glove. I don't know what this is from, though. I'm going to go ahead and present the picture. I don't know if it's going to work, but... This is the picture this guy took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out?
Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out all the blood on his vest, though.
That's my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth.
Oh, but that piece of cloth.
There's no blood on it.
Wait, there's no blood on it.
Oh, he didn't like that. Since this guy's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time.
No, this is nonsense.
Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Skye, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword? Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue, and make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? Did you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Though the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. We got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. It's finally all over. Psych.
That was close, Wright. You almost had me.
Huh?
Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. What do you mean, refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence.
Huh?
Order! What nonsense is this? Legal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Archie? Earlier, Earl Wright here concealed that piece of cloth. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence.
That's not fair.
Looks like the last laugh's on you, son.
That can't work, right?
I'm afraid Mr. Gaunt's claim is legally correct. Mr. Edgeworth?
True, legal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal.
Well, Mr. Wright?
It seems at last the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. What's our plan, Phoenix? Hey, man. Tell me. Phoenix? Why don't you let me in on our plan here? Okay? Come on. Let me in on your plan. I mean, obviously, if I did, then, I mean, Chief's gonna walk, so I'm gonna say I did not. I admit I refused to present it at one point.
Oh, so the evidence is illegal.
No, it isn't, Mr. Gant.
Huh?
It's not that I didn't present evidence then, it's that I couldn't.
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved in presenting evidence.
No, Udgy, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe.
There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not?
Very well. To settle this once and for all. Early, you refuse to present evidence. You can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now.
Ah, well, let's read the evidence law book. No evidence should be shown without approval of the police department, and evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. Bam. Right there. No evidence shall be shown. Unregistered must be presented relevant to case on trial. Both of those. Clears both of those things. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law.
What's this?
I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emmett Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more.
What?
You see, it's written right here in this book, the second rule of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself inside your safe. It goes without saying I did not have approval from the police department. Rule number 2, unregistered evidence must be presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident.
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want a relevancy? Take one look at this picture and...
Sorry, but can you recall when that picture presented?
That was shown only a few moments ago.
No. He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest.
Oh, yes. No!
It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, and there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you. You get to freak out. No? Oh, that's a lit. You good, bruh?
I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me.
Crimes were being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty.
He wanted to reinvestigate the case.
He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman.
Yeah, that's right.
If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you gotta help me.
Marshall, I'm sorry.
Goodman turned him down, as he ought to.
Still, J. Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence.
Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman?
Can you please reopen an investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered.
This is my spur-of-the-moment Goodman voice. And that was it. Take a bow.
He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said,
"It's not too late. I'm going to hand this all over to Marshall."
Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see it, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it, that accursed knife.
He's admitting to everything now.
I couldn't just pull it out.
Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime.
Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worried so much about the floor, I didn't realize my fatal mistake.
The bloody handprints on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
I used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. I put the body in my car. Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will.
He's just admitting to everything. How? How could you get Miss Skye involved in all of this?
Well, she has much to lose as I did if the truth came out.
So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker.
I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have time to pick and choose what to take.
So you left the jar fragments in the glove?
Yeah. Looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer.
They did a pretty good job. This is a really crazy case, not gonna lie.
They all did their best to get in my way. Got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay.
Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that.
Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court?
Me?
You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same. One day you'll understand. No, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone.
Don't listen to him, Edgeworth. You're awesome.
Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Edgy. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gatt.
Poor Judge.
I knew you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator and example of others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Edgy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Wright here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning.
Wow. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Skye? You no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years, from the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So, seems all the questions in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Skye, I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, you might just make it to the top. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Skye, and to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth.
Stop it. I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems that good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Skye.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are innocent of murder. However, if the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. Trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
There's something amusing about all this. Why are you smiling?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains. That's good.
Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Nonna Skye.
Thumbs up. We did it, Sam.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
We did it! At long last, it's finally over. Finally! Holy moly. Oh, Emma. Why the long face? What's up? Sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for murder she didn't commit. Silver linings, right?
No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended.
See why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to Mr. Edgeworth, yeah. I love this, like, wrap-up music that they do. It's so good.
You know, I did my best too, but Lana didn't say a single word to me.
I'm not interrupting anything, pal. Hey, it's Gumshoe. What's up, buddy? No, you're not interrupting anything. We were just... Emma was just leaving. Yeah, I guess I am. Yeah, I'll come back later. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Make a detective run around while on duty? Chop it off, kill me, or I've seen happy people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. I know you are.
Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
Yep. Yeah, this time. Yeah, I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone. Who is it? Oh.
Lana!
Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I don't tell you well.
Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was getting you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis, I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to... It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding truth I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always do that day you come back. Now you have. Oh, sweet. Oh, Emma. Emma. That's good. Good for y'all. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is try to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Why? Why, Phoenix? Do tell. Please enlighten us. Because in doing so, Isaiah, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there we can move on toward a brighter future. At least that's what I felt watching the two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe.
Me?
Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth?
Edgeworth?
Stop hiding and come over here.
Hey, bud. Where was he hiding? I didn't see him anywhere. Where was he? I was just kind to say, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Right. Well, I'll be going now. Alright, see you, bud.
Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you.
It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes.
Mr. Edgeworth...
Not only that, I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. One day you'll understand. Believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. Scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. So I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Demon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight a crime of my own, I'd need a weapon. It may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. It's true. He was helping me out this whole time. Yeah, right? I mean, yeah, it's true. Yeah, whatever, it's true. Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lana's talking about. Evidence, huh? Edgeworth and I nor would be able to find out on our own. The evidence list, right? That's the picture I drew. Our counterattack began with this. You had one half the evidence list, and I had the other. Probably wouldn't have been able to completely restore him his picture. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll excuse me, there's still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. No. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember. Don't let what happened kill a prosecutor in you. You can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. Seems I owe my thanks to you, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court, bud. Farewell. Goodbye, friend. I better be going too. Okay, but I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific Investigation. It's the first book I ever bought. Study well. Thanks, sis. I will. Bye, Emma, or Lana. And so another case came to a close. So the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun. Fingers crossed. As for me, it's time I started a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, I'm not checking out just yet, pal. Huh? What? What? Just a little matter about to be resolved. A little matter to be resolved at the chief prosecutor. You see, she wasn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought he said it was okay. It wouldn't be okay with me, but the folks at prison are a different story. Basically, I had to bribe a guy in order to sneak you after 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Go get her! Well, Haley, Mr. Wright is the one who'd be footing the bill. Huh? What? What, you think I get a foot of my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. All I can say is, huh. Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Yeah, I got an idea. Why don't we go all pay for it together? Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys, let's go. Objection. That was the perfect way to end this game. I arranged for a friend of mine to take care of Emma. I hope she would please study under a top coroner. As for me, this affair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow, and I'll be able to investigate our crimes together with Emma. Is this like a... I think it's like a catch-up thing. That's cool. Well, I'm not gonna read it, really. I'm gonna go ahead and dip out myself and let this kind of play through if anyone wants to watch it and kind of play the catch-up with it. But real quick before I go, I just want to, again, thank everyone for watching. Everyone who enjoyed it, I'm glad. I'm really happy for that. I am going to take a little bit of a break while I plan out my next project. Because it'll be a year I've started doing this in January. So hopefully I'm going to have something cool for you guys. So stay tuned. Like I said, I'll probably take a couple weeks off. Maybe a little bit longer than that. I might be back in January. I'll be back at the latest in January. So again, one more time, thanks everyone who watched. I hope everyone enjoyed this, and I will see you guys soon. Enjoy the outro, and because I'm not good at these, once again, I'll see you guys soon.
Mario, let's go!